10 o'clock, and welcome to Lincoln Ware Live. I'm not hearing myself, but I guess you are out there, okay? Welcome to Lincoln Ware Live. We're here every Sunday morning from 10 until 11, and as usual, we've got a great show lined up for you today. My first guest from Jobs and Family Services, and talking about child support. Oh boy, child support, and that has probably touched everybody out there at some point, some way, shape, or form. We'll talk about that. Plus, an amnesty program that's going on now where you might be able to get your driver's license back even if you just make arrangements to catch up on your child support. We'll talk about that. So if you know someone who's in that situation, you better pick up the telephone, call them right now, and tell them to tune in to It's 38 right now, because we're going to pass along some great information for you. Then the second part of the show, we've got Sandra Theis from the Dancers for Democracy. Yeah, boy, it's a real situation there. First of all, I don't even know how we got in this situation with them having to go out to get over 200,000 signatures so that they can put this issue on the ballot, let the voters decide if they should close strip clubs down at midnight. I mean, give me a break. At midnight, that's when most of them are just starting. And we'll talk about that and some other stipulations they put on bookstores and things like that. But we'll talk about that on the second half of the show with Sandy. But right now, let's talk a little bit of child support. Ken Jones, Jeff Startzman, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Lincoln.
Now, of course, child support's always a big issue, always a big issue. You see it on the news, Cincinnati's most wanted deadbeat dads and things like that. The amnesty program that's going on now, first of all, tell us a little bit about that starting out, because the time is running out. It was just for the month of August, so they've got a little over a week left. How can people get in on that? Who wants to go first?
Okay, I will, Lincoln. August is Child Support Awareness Month, and during the month of August, we're offering amnesty on licenses. We have over 13,000 driver's licenses that are currently suspended in Hamilton County for non-payment.
13,000?
13,000.
Wow.
It ebbs and flows, goes ups and down, but right now that's about where we're at. So during the month of August, we, along with a lot of other counties, are offering to make a deal with people. If you come in, if you contact us, if you're willing to work with us to make a payment on your child support, keep paying that child support, we'll bend the rules, ease them up a little bit, and get those licenses reinstated.
Okay.
And then in the last week of August, we're doing our second annual juvenile court warrant. So if somebody failed to show up in court, at juvenile court, and got an arrest warrant issued for their failure to appear, and there's over 3,000 of them out there.
Wow.
This is their chance to come on down, show up at the court, have the warrant recalled, and get plugged back into the system.
Okay.
We did it last year. We had about 240 people show up. And what was even more amazing, what we were even more impressed with, of those 240 people that showed up and got the warrants recalled, 80% of them then showed up for their subsequent hearing.
Now, a lot of people probably think this is some type of sting. They just want to get you in there. And so this is not a sting.
No, we had
I'm going to take your word for it. It's not a sting.
Last year, I think there were a lot of people that thought that.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, what's the deal? You're going to tell us that it's a good deal, free turkey or something like that.
Yeah.
We'll come in and they'll grab us and take us behind.
Right.
I hope the word out there is we did it last year, it was legit, and we're doing it again this year, and it will even be a bigger success.
All right. Now, if you've got questions, you want to give us a call, 513-381-3838. That's the phone number, 513-381-3838. Give us a call. We'll try to answer all your questions this morning. Now, we'll take a quick break, and we'll come back and talk to Ken, find out what's going on with Ken and his program he's got going down there. We'll take a quick break and come back and talk to you right here on Lincoln Ware Live. It's 38. And by the way, don't forget about the Black Family Reunion this weekend at Sawyer Point. Back in a moment.
Great. Okay, that's the overall. Now we can really get into the real dads.
And we're back live. Lincoln Ware Live is the program, and we're talking child support this morning. Ken Jones is with the Real Dads program. Ken, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Lincoln.
Tell us a little bit about the Real Dads program.
Well, Real Dads is a partnership between Lighthouse Youth Services and Child Support. It's a federally funded program that started earlier this year to help young fathers who are behind on their child support. The way it works is a young father comes into Lighthouse Youth Services. They go through an intake process. they get assigned a highly trained, highly capable child support technician, myself. And once they're in this program, if they have, say, their license are suspended, just because they're in this program, we'll reinstate them. That's year round. We kind of hold off on enforcement, so things like contempt of court or driver's license suspension, we hold off on because we partnership with Lighthouse to get these young fathers working.
Okay. So you have, I guess you also have a relationship with the court system as well.
We do. Once they're in the program, they're assigned a life coach, and these are the real heroes of the program. These life coaches help these guys with everything from employment, education, life skills, parenting classes, and they serve as advocates for them in court. So they'll go to court with them, and the courts are on board with it too. So if a guy, say, he's been to court a couple different times, and the judge might tell him, hey, if you don't come back here next week with money, you're going to jail.
Okay.
I've seen where the courts will give them a second chance
If they come back with
their life coach
Okay.
from Lighthouse.
Okay.
So it really is a good chance for young fathers to get out in front of child support instead of running and hiding from it, because there's really no escape from it. Now, the exciting thing about it is here recently, we've lifted the age requirement. Before, you had to be 17 to 24. But, I mean, it's a federally funded program, so we had to go to the feds. And Calvin Williams, who's the director of the program, went to the feds, and they okayed us lifting the limit. So now we can help anybody with a child support case, with employment, like I said, life skills, parenting classes. Because what we found was that a lot of these young fathers, well, I would look them up in our system as fathers, child support cases. Not all of them, but enough to be significant, had child support cases as children themselves. And I'll look, no payments. So they're doing what they've been taught.
Right. Their father didn't give them support payments, so
That's what they know.
Right.
That's all
That's
they know.
all they know. My father didn't pay for me, so I'm not going to pay either.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're trying to teach them another way. Now, the guys in this program, and right now there's about 39 of them. These are not guys that are going to be on the wanted posters. These are young guys. And out of these 39, 20 of them are now paying or have just reported new income from being in this program. So it's sort of a hand up. We're trying to help these guys out for the first time. A lot of guys come in, they say, well, I heard about this. Initially, I thought it was a setup.
Yeah, you know, everybody's, you know, a little leery of any type of program that's going to help you out of the court system, you know. Now, okay, the big question now, how do they get into this program? What can they do?
All they have to do is call Calvin Williams over at Lighthouse, and I think they've got this number up. It's, see if I can remember it, 487-7102.
Can we get that number up? Or we'll get that number up. Just watch the screen. It'll give you time to get a pencil and a paper, some paper. There you go. It's up on the screen right now. Fellas, if you're in some trouble with child support, you better call that number.
Right.
And you might be able to see some light at the end of the tunnel.
That's exactly what the program does. What I do is I sit down with each one of them individually, face to face, and help them understand the ins and outs of child support. Since they're younger, I tell them, I say, you know, if you had a big brother that worked for child support, it would be me. And as my little brother, I'm going to guide you. Now, I might not tell you something that you want to hear, but I'm going to tell you the facts. And they appreciate that. And they all say, finally, somebody's on my side. So I'm able to act as their big brother in child support. I'll reinstate the driver's license. I'll tell them, hey, if you got a good relationship with the mother, if she's willing to go down and waive part of that arrears, ask her. She may. If she does, great, you can start fresh. Or if the order is set too high, say you never went down to the hearing and the monthly obligation may have been set higher than it should have been because we have no way of knowing how much you're earning. Or if you're making less than what you were before. A lot of guys don't realize this, that they can get a modification, get their orders lowered if they're making less money.
And the key is, fellas, if you can stay in good terms with the mother, you know, that's the key.
I highly recommend that.
Yeah, if you can get in good terms with the mother, your life will be a whole lot simpler.
Sure.
It will even be more simple if you just marry her. You know, that's the easy way out. Marry her. All right, let's go to the phones. Let's go to Mark. Mark, you have a question?
Yes. How you doing this morning?
Good.
I just woke up at the last break, and you guys were talking about a juvenile court, and you can get your cases recalled.
Okay, there's the driver's license amnesty program, and you were talking about the...
Warrant. If you have a warrant from our juvenile court here in Hamilton County for not showing up the last week of August, August 27 through 31, just go directly down to the court, 800 Broadway, the hours between 8:30 and 2 o'clock, because they want to make sure they've got time to process you. And they will get you before a magistrate to get that warrant recalled and get you a new hearing date, get all the vital information, current address, current employer, whatever it may be.
All right, you got that?
Do you have one for the adult court too, or is that just for the juvenile?
No, this is just juvenile court.
Okay, thanks a lot, guys. You have a nice day.
Thanks for your call.
All right.
All right, let's go to Pete. Pete, good morning. How are you?
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Pretty good.
Okay, I understand the amnesty program and everything. See, I pay my child support, so I don't have a problem with my license. Now, my question is the child support situation that I'm in. Now, me and my child's mother, I only have one child. His mother, at his time of birth, somehow, some way decided that she didn't want to be a mother when he was a couple months old. So she relinquished custody over to her mother, who is being he's 12 now, but she's just on my back all the time. And I want to understand, is there a way that the child support could get split in half by the mother not taking care of the child either? Well, I take care of him. Now, I want to know if it's a way that the mother could be hit for some of this child support also.
I hear what you're saying.
Well, legally, both parents have the obligation to support the child. Grandma's got custody, and there is no involvement from welfare. In other words, she's not getting any cash assistance. She can decide who she wants to get that support from. In other words, she may say, I want it from Dad, but I don't care about Mom. I'm going to give her a pass. And that's her decision. You can't force her to seek custody, to seek child support from Mother. She could if she wanted to, but she doesn't have to.
Okay. See, I don't think that's fair.
Yeah. Now, the good thing about it is the way the laws are written to calculate the child support, you are not paying the mother's share. You shouldn't be. In other words, her income goes into the calculation, your income is used in the calculation, and then each person pays their respective share.
Now, is she working?
No, she's not doing nothing.
Okay.
She just doesn't want to be a mother at all.
Yeah.
She had 2 boys. Both of the boys is with the mother, and she got a little girl, and she just all in love with the girl.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe you could get custody of the child. Do you want custody?
Oh, I try, but they all, every time I go down there, they say, well, you got to have $300 in order to do this and do that. And along with the child support, I mean, I'm not making very much paying my back child support. So, you know, I really don't have enough to do the things that I need to get done.
So if you could actually take care of your son if you took custody of him, correct? Is it 1 or 2?
Right.
Is it 1 or 2?
It's 1.
1, okay.
We have 1.
Okay, so why, is it possible for him to, could you help him get custody maybe? Could you?
Well, no, we actually can't get involved in the custody. We're prohibited by law from going there.
Okay.
And what he's referring to when he says $300 is he's going down to court and they're saying there's a filing fee to file your motion.
Okay.
Now that fee can be waived. He can go down there and say, I'm indigent, and they'll waive the fee. What he probably should do is talk to an attorney and maybe contact Legal Aid or Stephen Johnson Groves at the Public Policy Forum. And if he wants to call us, we can put him in touch with a couple of different folks who have the ability to possibly provide him some legal representation.
Okay, give them a call and they could send you to the right place, okay?
Is this the number, the 487-7102?
No.
Okay, wait a minute, let me get my pen again.
Okay, and get your pen and we'll
I got
get
it.
that number. Okay, go ahead. What's the number?
Okay. The main number is 496, sets, 47887.
487.
Okay, 496 what?
Sets.
Sets, S-E-T-S.
SETS.
Oh, okay.
7374.
7387.
7387. Okay.
77.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for your call.
All right.
All right, let's move along. I believe Will is on. Will, you have a question.
Yes, good morning.
How you doing?
Morning.
Pretty good. My question is, both my children are now over 18, and I'm an arrearage only payer. That's what I've been told by downtown. Yet my arrearage continues to go up.
Huh?
So could you tell me why that is?
It shouldn't be going up. I mean, once your children emancipate, that is, they graduate high school and they're 18 years old, your case becomes an arrears only case. It stays the same until the arrears is paid off in full.
Right. Well, I'm making payments, yet my arrearage continues to go up.
How do you know it's continuing to go up?
Because I get the monthly notices in the mail.
Okay, is there a phone number on the notice?
Oh, yes, I've called my worker and everything. She's never returned my call.
Oh, boy.
Well, then you call and you ask for me,
Okay.
and have them transfer it to me, and we'll make sure we find out why that's happening, because I doubt it is. The notice you get is off the state computer system, and we'll look into it to figure out exactly.
I have noticed it's usually 2 months behind. The date for the arrearage is showing me what the arrearage is usually 2 months behind. So that might be it too, but still, I can't understand why
Well, it shouldn't go up.
No.
why it keeps going up. Okay,
And
well,
if-
that's fine.
Yeah, if it continues to go up and you can't get any satisfaction, if you're able to get a lawyer or something, I'd file some type of lawsuit or something. I bet you that'll wake them up. If
Well,
you-
I have all my
Come on,
receipts, so that's thanks.
All right.
We
Thanks
can,
for
we
your
can
call.
take care of it, sir.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I know you guys are right here, but sometimes you guys just can't get any response. Like you said, the worker never calls him back, and he's just in a bind. Let's go to Jason. Jason, how you doing?
All right.
What's your question?
Hello?
Yes, Jason, turn your TV down because there's a delay, and you'll hear yourself twice, you'll hear me twice, and it'll confuse the hell out of you.
Oh, okay. Sorry
Okay,
about that.
go ahead.
Ken Jones?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah, I actually called you a while ago and left a message. My name is Jason White, if you remember.
You
I
called.
was actually calling about the program because I had heard about the program, the Real Dad.
Right. I left you a message Friday. I remember you.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was calling about, the program, because I heard about it. I had called. They had Job and Family actually gave me your number. That's how I got that number.
Well, good. I'm glad you called.
Yeah, and that's what I was calling about. See, what I need at the program is like I was working at a job. They were taking child support out of my check, so I never had to worry about going down there to make a payment. It was already coming out my check before I get the check.
Right.
But my problem is I had lost that job,
Okay.
and I heard that like y'all help people like in my situation find jobs to keep up with child support.
That's right. That's what this whole program is. What you want to do is call Calvin Williams with Lighthouse Youth Services. He's the director of the Real Dads program.
Okay.
His phone number, you ready?
Yeah, I already got a program
Okay.
in from the first time y'all said it.
Well, good. You want to give him a call, and he'll help you get set up in the program. Now, what will happen is once you're set up and we have a release from you, you'll be moved to my caseload, so I'll be your worker at that point. Okay?
Okay. Cool.
And you've got my direct number, so you can call me anytime, and I'll be happy to go over your case with you. After you talk with Calvin Williams, you want to come on in, we'll sit face to face and see how we can manage your caseload.
Okay, what's the earliest I can call? Is it Monday through Friday?
Well, I'll actually be home with my kids on Monday before they start school. But after Tuesday, you can give me a call or come on by anytime. I'm there at 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, thanks for your call.
All right.
All right, we'll take a quick break and we'll come back and take more calls. He's got to feel a lot better about everything, knowing that there's some help out there.
There's a lot of help out there for a lot of guys.
All right, we'll take a quick break and come right back. Lincoln Ware Live is the program. We're here every Sunday morning from 10 until 11. We'll take a quick break and come back and talk more child support right here on Hits 38. And we're back live. Lincoln Ware Live is the program. We're talking child support. We're talking help for people who are behind their child support. And I mean, it sounds like it's a real good program. So if you need help, you need to give them a call. Put that number back up on the screen for anybody who's just tuning in. It's called the Real Dads Program. And Ken Jones is in charge of that program. What's the phone number, Ken?
487-7102. Calvin Williams is who you want to talk to.
It's up on the screen now. Write that number down. It could be a lifesaver, fellas. All right, let's go to, let's see here. Where am I? Let's go to Essie. Essie, how are you?
I'm good. Good morning, gentlemen.
What's going on?
I'd like to ask the question, if the child support system already has the income of the father, why do they need to file a motion to have their child support reduced?
Well, if their income have changed since the order was set, for instance, if the father was employed as a plumber and he got hurt on the job, now he can't work as a plumber anymore. Well, he shouldn't be paying the same child support as a working plumber. He should be paying the child support of someone, I don't know, working at Burger King, if that's what he can get.
I mean, I understand that, and that's what I'm saying. Why do they still have to file a motion?
Well, you don't have to file a motion. You can do what's called an administrative review, where you request that child support takes a look at your case administratively, so you don't actually have to go to court.
Okay, and is there a filing fee?
Not for that, no, ma'am.
Okay, and
Basically, the
it's
most
an
important
administrative review.
I'm sorry?
It's called an administrative review.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. Have a good day.
All right,
You're
thanks
welcome.
for your call.
Yeah, let me just add this. The most important thing that people need to remember is don't assume anything.
Right.
Don't assume, since you've lost your job, that we know about it.
Right.
Don't assume anything's going to change.
Right.
Be proactive.
Right.
Contact us. Ask for that modification.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, because you're one of thousands and
Yeah.
thousands of people out
Actually,
there.
one of 95,000.
Yeah. So you're right. Let's go to Butch. Butch, good morning. How are you? Hey, Butch. Hey, Butch. Okay, we'll forget about Butch and let's just go to Jerry. Jerry, how are you?
Good morning, man.
What's going on?
Hey, I am so excited that I got the chance to talk to some men about fathers and you know, their troubles on this, because you know, there's all kinds of programs for the women and there's all kinds of help that they can get, but it's really hard for a man who is behind to ask these questions. And I got two of them, actually. One is, I've been paying support since I was 16. Now, from my 16 to probably me being around 20, you know, I was like any other kid. I didn't want to work. I lost jobs. I worked here. I worked there. I fell behind. You know, I'm 37 now. I've been paying support regularly for the last 8-9 years. But I had an arrearage that built up. I mean, probably about $5,000 in the last 18 years. My daughter just turned 19. I got one that's 17. Now, they tacked the arrearage payment. They cut my payment in half, took the half and made an arrearage payment, which is paying an arrearage of 167 or so. I pay a support of 180 something. But on the paper, it says that my arrearage can only exceed 35% of my payment. Why am I paying such a high arrearage charge when I have, you know, now I have another family that I have to support, so I'm supporting almost 2 families. I've tried to contact my counselor. I've had 4 different counselors. I can't get a hold of either the new one or any of the past ones, and I'm kind of hung in the middle. I don't want to miss nothing, and I'm scared to death. I've been in court. This will be my 3rd offense in the last 20 years, and this one I'll go to jail again.
What should he do?
Pass on all this.
What should he do?
Well, what happened is his current support automatically flips into an arrearage repayment. That's Ohio law. The courts can modify that if he's in court and they feel that he can't afford to pay it. I think what he also is referring to, he said 35%, it's actually 55% under the Consumer Credit Protection Act is the most that can be taken out of it. If he feels he cannot afford this, he should, one, ask for that modification of the current support, and if he feels he can't afford the arrearage repayment, then when he's in court, and only the courts can do this, we can't, but on the arrearage repayment, the courts can modify that downward.
Right.
Okay. And who does he contact now? What does he do?
Yeah.
That-
For
that-
the administrative modification, just call that main number, 496-7387, and ask to be put to the modification, folks.
All right, 496-7387. Remember that number. Write it down. All right, let's go to Melody. Melody, how are you?
Hi, Lincoln.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good.
Hi, I had a question to ask. My sister's ex-husband, he asked for a reduction, and he was citing that he has a new family. I think he's just supporting that he doesn't have contact with his daughter via my sister. Is that even possible, and if so, why?
I'm not in the child support business, but I can almost answer that. No, it's not possible. But
Okay.
I'll ask the experts.
No.
Neither one of those are legal reasons. that are-
Yeah, I didn't think
Right.
so.
I mean,
They don't care if you got another family. Your obligation is to the family you had first.
Okay, so he can't, because my sister, she's still worried about it. She's still trying to establish a contact between him and his daughter, but he's just pretty much adamant about not having it. So they will not reduce it because of those factors, correct?
If he is paying child support for another child, that can be factored into the calculation. But simply having another family and not supporting that family, that won't make any difference. And the lack of contact is very unfortunate, but from the pure calculation standpoint, it doesn't make any difference.
Right. So he is married, and they're living together as a family, right?
With the other woman, no, those are actually her children that he supports.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, now
Yeah,
they're
so it's my-
stepchildren,
it's like-
so
Okay, yeah.
they're off the map.
Yeah. No problem. No, he can forget about it.
Good.
Okay.
Thank you, Lincoln.
All right. Thanks for your call.
Lincoln, she actually had a good point that some of my guys come up with. They say, why should I have to pay child support if the mother won't let me see my child? I tell each one of my guys, even if you have a good relationship with the mother, get yourself a visitation order.
Yeah.
So that when the time comes when you don't have a good relationship.
And she can't deny you seeing the child.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yep. Because you never know what day of the week they might
Get a
come
new
back at you. and
boyfriend,
say-
you get a new girlfriend.
Right. Right. That's
suddenly-
it. Velma, how you doing? Velma. Velma.
Hello, this is Darla.
Oh, Darla. Okay. How you doing?
Hi, okay. I've got a question in regards to child support and visitation. My son fathered a child a couple years ago. He was there for the delivery of the birth, was there, participated during the pregnancy. And since then, he signed the birth certificate when the child was born. I took him downtown to Child Services, had him sign up, for his child support payments, to get the arrangement set up. And everything was fine. But since then, the child's almost 2 years old. We've only seen the child twice. My son, he was working at a job where the payment was taken out of his check. And he worked that job for a while, lost that job, and was making the payments on his own for a little bit. But got pretty discouraged because every time he'd go to try to see the child, we'd get all kinds of excuses. The girl's involved with another man now, so that caused a lot of trouble. They tried to get my son arrested every time he'd go visit. What can we do?
It's like a heavy
I mean,
SP.
this child's almost 2 years old. I've seen it twice since it's been born, and they live 5 minutes away from us. I mean, there's no excuse.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Any help?
Okay. Hang up and listen to your TV. Thanks for your call.
The first thing she did was wisely advise him to go down and get a child support case started himself. As far as visitation goes, he'd have to file a motion, correct, to get a visitation order. And a visitation order is just like a child support order. It's court mandated. So just like if he doesn't make his child support payments, he can be held in contempt. If the mother doesn't allow him to see the child, she can be held in contempt. So it's a court order for visitation. That's what he wants to have.
Okay.
Well, and she can even take it one step further. In Ohio, there's what's known as grandparent visitation.
That's right.
So if Darla there says, I want my visitation rights too, as the proud grandmother of this child, she can pursue that herself.
Okay. All right. Now, the Real Dads program, a very good program. Once again, give the phone number and go over some of the particulars that you handle in the Real Dads program.
It's 487-7102. One of the other things that we do, we have father-child outings as a group.
Okay.
We had our first one a couple of weeks ago in the park. We'll do things like, we're planning on trips like to the zoo, maybe Kings Island. And there's been a real groundswell of support for this program here locally. It's federally funded, but we're getting a lot of interest here locally. For instance, there was a retired bricklayer who moved here from New York to be close to his children. He heard about it on the news, said, you know what, I'm going to train one of the guys, my trade, to be a bricklayer, one who has an interest.
Okay.
Now, everybody doesn't have an interest in bricklaying.
Right.
Like Messer Construction is our partner also, and they have jobs set aside waiting for these guys once they go through a training program. Now, we're not going to give these jobs to anybody that just walks in the door. We have to really know them. They have to be committed, and a lot of our guys are. They have a lot of different problems, but they have one thing in common. They want to be better fathers, all of them. One guy in particular, he's pulling out 2 jobs to meet that monthly obligation.
Wow.
And I think he's 20 years old, and he's doing what he has to do. So,
the Real Dads program, give them a call. Put the number up one more time because we want to make sure everybody gets that number. If you can put it up before we go to break. But I want to thank both of you for joining me this morning. Ken and Jeff, thank you for joining me. And people need to call. The help is out there. I know people think the help is not there, but it's out there. There's a number on the screen. Thank you for stopping by. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Lincoln.
Let's go to break, and we'll come back and talk about the Dancers for Democracy. And we'll tell you what a pickle they're in. And hopefully they can vote their way out of it if they get enough signatures. We'll take a quick break, and we'll come back and talk about the Dancers for Democracy right here on Lincoln Ware Live. We'll be back in a moment. And right camera. There we go. Okay. Welcome back. Lincoln Ware with you. And I was just going to comment on that Soul Train. Man, I like that old school Soul Train. It brings back a lot of memories. And in the studio with me, Sandy Theis. Sandy, how are you?
I'm just fine. How are you?
And you're, I guess, the head of the Dancers for Democracy. And I tell you, this is the craziest. Only in Ohio could something like this happen. Even the governor of the state said it was ridiculous for the legislator to spend this much time on this issue. Just to bring people up to date, how did we get to this point, and what's out there?
Well, there's a group from Cincinnati called Citizens for Community Values that convinced the General Assembly to pass a law that I think is a backdoor effort to close down adult businesses. They want to close them, most of them at midnight, which is when they make most of their money.
Yeah.
And then they want to make it difficult for the strip clubs to get strippers. And they do that by passing what they call the no-touch rule. And a lot of the dancers get money when they tuck money into their garter belt. Under this new law, if I'm a dancer, God forbid, and you shake my hand, you and I have both violated that, and we could both go to jail for 30 days.
That's ridiculous. Now, we were going to have some dancers on the show to demonstrate this, but they couldn't make it. What happened to them?
Well, they had car trouble, and I'm sorry for that because they're wonderful ambassadors for the cause, and they can firsthand tell you how ridiculous this is, and they can tell you what does and doesn't happen in the clubs.
Yeah, and I was very disappointed. Tell them I am so disappointed they couldn't make it this morning.
I will pass that on.
But so you had to get out and get a lot of signatures.
Yes.
And how many signatures did you have to get?
Well, we need 241,366 valid signatures from registered voters. Our deadline is September 3rd. We're going to turn in probably a little over 400,000 because a lot of people who say they're registered really aren't, or they sign, they moved, and so they're not registered where they think they're registered. So we're really confident that we'll be on the ballot in November, and we're going to ask the people, we think the people have a right to vote on this. Yes or no? We're the no vote, so just say no.
And you know, they complain about people moving out of the state of Ohio, and conventions are not coming. That's why they have all the conventions in Las Vegas, because, you know, you got strip clubs out there, you can gamble. This state, they voted gambling down. Right. Now they want to run the strip clubs out. Pretty soon, they won't have anybody in this state. I mean, conventions won't come because there won't be anything to do here.
Well, it's interesting you bring up the conventions because the head of the Greater Cleveland Convention and Visitors Bureau, which is one of America's poorest big cities, according to the census, said he thinks this will put Cleveland at a competitive disadvantage as it tries to draw conventions, compete with other similarly situated cities. Cincinnati's the same way. They have professional sports. It's a beautiful city. But sometimes when people go to conventions, they want to go to the strip clubs.
Yeah.
And if they don't want to go, that's fine. They don't have to go.
But it should be there. I mean, you have to go outside of the Cincinnati city limits if you want to go to a strip club.
Right.
I mean, there's some underground stuff going on, but still, I mean, it should be, if you want to go, it should be there. And then to close them down at 12 o'clock, how ridiculous is that?
It is ridiculous. And one of the things I've learned since I've taken these folks on as a client is these clubs are highly regulated and they are very, very well policed. They have internal security. Some of the clubs only hire off-duty police or ex-military people. They have cameras in their parking lots. All of the dancers say that if a patron, even looks at them funny, if there's any problem whatsoever, the patron is thrown out. They're very, very protective of the dancers because they want the people who are working there and the people who are visiting there to be comfortable and to be safe.
Right.
So all this talk about them doing this to protect the dancers, if this is really to protect the dancers, where's the anti-strip club group of ex-dancers?
Yes.
I mean, all the women who are working there, they like what they do. A lot of single moms.
And a lot of them are going to college.
A lot of college students.
Trying to pay their way through college.
Yep. And so I think we should just keep them regulated, keep them legal, and please vote against this thing in November.
All right, let me hear what you have to say about this. 513-381-3838. Do you think we should have, Simon Lee's has virtually shut down any type of stripping in Hamilton County. I think there's a couple of clubs in Hamilton County. Deja Vu, maybe.
Deja Vu. I think that might be the only one.
Yeah. And, of course, the bookstore. Now, this whole thing affects bookstores also.
It does affect bookstores. It makes the bookstores close at midnight. And Phil Burris, the head of CCV, has actually made comments about how he doesn't believe that you have the right to read whatever you want. I was a newspaper reporter for 25 years. I believe you do have a right to read. And I'm personally offended by that. And consenting adults should be able to do what they want as long as no one's getting hurt.
So a store like the Lion's Den would have to close up. They're open 24 hours now. They would have to close up at midnight.
That's correct.
Unbelievable. Let's go to Rhonda. Rhonda, how are you?
I'm good. How are you this morning?
Pretty good.
Lincoln, you are so funny. You said the dancers are not here, and I'm disappointed.
Yes, I am.
Reschedule this show so the dancers can come and fight for their rights.
Yes, I should reschedule and let them come back, and we want to hear and see what they have to say.
Yeah, so put your singles away. But I want to say this. I was downtown, and a guy walked up on me, and he said, will you sign this for us, for strippers not to be able to strip, or dancers, I'm sorry, not to be able to dance in adult clubs. And I'm like, these people need jobs. If you ever go to Atlanta and see how ballin' the dancers are, they look like they play football. They drive up in their brand new cars. They live in their condos. I mean, these sisters are bad. Not only sisters, but in Atlanta, that's what you see. The sisters are doing it. They're doing their thing. So maybe if we allow the sisters to do their thing, that first show that you had child support, it wouldn't be so hard on the dads. Because the sisters have to feed the kids. They have to pay rent. And by the deadbeat dads walking around, they have to do something. You all have a nice day. And Lincoln, you are so funny.
Thanks for your call.
Bye-bye.
All right. We'll take a quick break, and we'll come back and take more calls from you, 513-381-3838. We're talking about the Dancers for Democracy right here on Lincoln Ware Live. We'll be back in a moment. And we're back live. Lincoln Ware Live is the program. We've got Sandra Theis. Sandra Theis, and she's with Dancers for Democracy. And we were supposed to have some dancers here today, but they had car trouble. They were coming down from Columbus?
They were coming up from Cincinnati. They're from the Deja Vu Club in Cincinnati.
Okay, they were coming, okay. And they couldn't make it, and we were going to demonstrate some of the things that they won't be allowed to do if this law passes, but it's going on the ballot. Now, how do you think it's going to turn out put before the voters? Will it be worded correctly? You know, sometimes they can word these things to confuse people.
Well, the law requires certain things be in it, so it is going to be complicated. But what our polling shows is the more people know about it, the less they like it. So I think once they know that if you go in there and you shake a dancer's hand, you and the dancer could go to jail. I think people are going to be appalled by this, and I think it's going to be close, but I think we're going to win.
And so now they'll just have to throw the money out on the floor for the dancers. They can't put it in their
Garter or whatever, wherever
yeah.
else they would put it, yes. And, you know, a lot of those clubs are pretty crowded. And so let's say you're a dancer, you just walk off the stage, I'm trying to go up to the bar, I get you by the elbow, 30 days in jail, $250 fine. So what they want to do is they want to scare the patrons from walking into the clubs.
And what are the cops saying about this?
Well, I've talked to some of them unofficially, and they tell me that they think it's probably unenforceable, and they're rather irritated that with the rise in crime, particularly in all the big cities, they're going to have to go in there and be policing handshakes in strip clubs.
Instead of out
dealing with the real serious problems that we're seeing all over the state. So I'd love to see some of them step forward and join our campaign.
And so lap dances will be a thing of the past?
Well, the clubs tell me right now you're not allowed to touch the dancer during the lap dance, that normally they have the customer put his hands down. But I just think if you accidentally brush up against somebody or touch their leg, 30 days in jail.
Okay, let's go to the telephones. Let's go to Ray. Ray, how are you?
What's going on, Lincoln? How's it going?
Pretty good.
Man, I got to say, this is the most ridiculous piece of legislation that I've ever heard.
It's ridiculous. It's only in Ohio.
Only in Ohio. What are we in? Are we in the Bible Belt or something? I mean, because the people that try to legislate this, especially what's the name of that organization?
CCV.
Council.
CCV.
Citizens for Community Values.
Yeah, I bet you people that are involved in that organization, I bet you they're bigger freaks in that organization than you or I, Lincoln.
Well, the head of the organization is an admitted, what is it?
Porn addict.
Porn addict, yeah.
He's a porn addict.
He's an ex-porn addict, he says.
Well, I mean,
that's why he's doing this, because he didn't want other people to end up like he ended up.
I mean, but most people would like to end up like he ended up.
I don't know. Thanks for your call.
All right.
Right, thanks for your call. Let's go to Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, my brother.
Hey, walaikum salam, sir. And what's the lady's name again, you say?
Sandra
Theis.
And Sandra, what benefit is this for you? I mean, what financial, monetary benefit do you get by representing this idea?
Well, I would have done this for nothing. I was a newspaper reporter for 25 years, and I watched CCV peddle its morality on the rest of the state, hurt the state's business climate. They got an anti-gay charter amendment passed in the city of Cincinnati that cost the city $43 million in convention business. I think that's offensive. I didn't like their gay marriage ban. I think that's bigotry. I think our Constitution should be used to extend people's rights, not limit them. And now they're trying to shut down a $250 million a year industry in Ohio. If they don't like the clubs, they should just butt out, but they shouldn't push their opinions on the rest of the state. It's just un-American.
So you're not getting paid?
I am getting paid, but I would do it if I wasn't getting paid.
Okay, but you do get some monetary.
Yes, absolutely.
What does that have to do with anything, Muhammad?
Because it's this, Lincoln. You know, some things, you know, I think we should not do. And one of the things I think we shouldn't do is use our women or have our women for tools to represent, you know, sexuality.
These women are doing this on their own free will. If that's what they choose to do to make a little money, there's nothing wrong with a guy going out there, getting a little eye candy, a little eye view, and maybe he'll go home and even treat his wife better afterward. Who knows?
I think it's morally wrong. But
I think you need to loosen up, Muhammad. I think you need to get a good lap dance.
I think it's a good thing that they put it on the ballot, and we get to vote for it.
Yeah, that's true.
And because they get the people actually say yes or no. I mean,
right.
Democracy is what we should have. But when these things do occur, Lincoln, the mindset of the people that's in there, who knows what these guys go out and do?
Oh, please. I think you've got more problems with that. Maybe that's part of the problem we have with all these pedophiles and all these sexual assaults here in this county, because there's no outlet.
Well, I don't know if that's because there's no outlet. It's because of the thinking of the people that's actually is doing the offense. But you have some of these dancers, Lincoln, that's 17 years old, 18 years old.
They're 18 years old.
18. They're 18. The legal age is 18. And, I mean, if that's what they feel like they need to do to make a living, I don't have a problem with it. Thanks for your call. Let's go to Tina. Tina, how are you? Tina. Okay, no Tina. We'll go to line 2, which is Rhonda. How you doing?
Hey,
I had to call you back
Oh.
and say that here in Ohio, it's a cut me in or cut you out mentality, and they're making money. She just said a $250 million industry a year. These women, they probably don't pay taxes off of the money. And that's the only thing that I can see being a matter with a $250 million business a year. And I've seen it happen before, the cut me in or cut it out mentality. This is a waste of time. It's been going on before me, you, my mother, your mother, and we can focus on the kids. We can focus on Cincinnati Public Schools if we needed something to focus on. So the people, the Committee for Values or whatever, they have a lot more to worry about than people earning money.
All right, thanks for your call.
And Tina, I ask all the dancers who I interview if they do pay their taxes, and they all tell me they do. And it's not just the dancers. These clubs employ a lot of lawyers these days, lobbyists, bartenders, chefs, security personnel, accountants, waiters and waitresses. A lot of the clubs have very nice restaurants attached to them. So it's not just the dancers. There's 10,000 people who would lose their jobs if these industries closed down.
Wow. Sandy, good luck, and I'm pushing for you. If it hits the ballot, I will definitely vote, whether you have to vote yes to
You have to vote no.
You have to vote no.
Yes.
Okay, see, that's the thing. That's a little tricky thing. If you want the strip clubs to stay open and you want it to stay like it is, you have to vote no.
Well, if you like this law, you vote yes. If you don't like this law, you vote no.
Okay.
That's the way it's set up. And we have a website, www.citizensforcommunitystandards.org. You can sign the petition online. You can make a donation online, and you can see pictures of the dancers online.
Oh, okay. That might be worth the browse there. Thank you for stopping by.
Hey, thank you.
And tell the young ladies I'm disappointed that they couldn't make it. Maybe I can get them on my radio show or something.
I will tell them.
All right,
Thank you.
we'll do that. We're going to take a break and come back with the talk of the town and wrap things up right here on Lincoln Ware Live. We'll be back in a moment.
Thank you very much for having me.
No problem. No problem. Hold on a second. Hold on. Lincoln Ware Live is the program that's going to wrap it up. Don't forget, next week, tune in and check us out. I'm on my way to Sawyer Point for the Black Family Reunion. Hope to see you down there today starting at noon, and I'll see you next week.